Hello. The significance of nonverbal communication and embracing interaction among people through numerous nonverbal communication platforms in the body. Nonverbal communication is majorly used to refer to the body's message transfer between two individuals through listening and talking. Charles Darwin triggered this research in an attempt to prove that there is a message that can be given without the use of words, but rather the expression of emotion between people and animals. These studies questioned the relevance of nonverbal communication, which invited more people to seek the massive wealth of knowledge over the same, concluding that it can express more meaning than verbal communication. Ray Birdswell was convicted of assuming that people trust forms of nonverbal communication as it accounts for around 70% of our speech. Our body language is associated with taking various types of body language, including facial expressions that are more universal in our cultures as they project an individual's point of happiness, disgust, fear, sadness, and moments of surprise. Body language and posture are also considered to be impacted by how people walk around, sit, and even stand. It includes a series of behaviors like posture, stance, subtle movements, and bearing, which we all make given certain conditions around us. Further, gestures remain part of a parcel of our routines as we wave, use hands as we speak, animatively, and pointing, which is all aimed to convey a message despite the varied meanings in most cultures. Eye contact is a sense of dominating people's most reactions as it communicates a show of interest, attraction, or hostility to the involved party. We also communicate through touch, space, and voice, where people, in the case of voice, study your tone concerning words spoken, define the mood you're in, and respond to you. The critical contribution made by nonverbal communication in our daily interactions cannot be ignored. They help prevent chaos by studying the mood people are in, and avoiding saying things that may stir fighting. Facial expressions mark most joyful events, colorful since they tap the whole atmosphere and the mood and give people wonderful memories. In interviews, body language can be used effectively to show the lack of comfort to a particular line of question and suggest change the topic to the interviewer. Eye contact is an essential aspect in the law field as there is an assumption that it is a metric for guiltiness, as most guilty people tend to avoid eye contact. As a nonverbal communication gives a high count on our unspoken message, it is possible that it also speaks more than we intended by even exposing our fears and worries, which can be called a disadvantage. Like in the courtroom case, if avoiding eye contact can incriminate an individual, then that nonverbal communication serves as a disadvantage to the offenders. People also question any sudden change of attitude to sadness or anger, which subjects people to speak, showing despite their desire to bar the truth of their emotions. Nonverbal communication speaks more than we mirror to the words that categorize its numerous functions in our daily living, like nonverbally repeated statements give a vital fact, as people can easily remember comments attached to the gestures than more words. Substituting in is a perfect intervention for gestures as they prove their importance. When words are reluctant enough to make expressions on our feelings, nonverbal communications puts weight on verbal message, directing a response to know how to react to the message. Nonverbal communication elements corrupt the interpretation of a message as they tend to rely more on profound message, which is above the words people utter to each other. Cultures depend on desperate non-verbal communication systems, empowering misunderstanding to the most common experience case. An element like facial expression gives a prior judgment of how someone feels towards a subject matter depending on the context. The way one stands and where they stand serves as an essential element to the subject matter, like someone leaning towards a speaker is associated with massive interest in the topic. Nonverbal communication and teaching, when appropriately used in order to deliver information to the target audience, in which it has to be repetitive, full of compliments and also suggestions. The teacher uses the nonverbal aspects such as the use of gestures, expressions, or eye contact between to pass information such as nodding the head to accept a point, staring and maintaining a stiff eye contact with students to capture their attention and show strictness. Further, the teacher uses wall charts since the students see the type of message they are being taught and how it looks like such drawings of objects and their color. Also, the teacher uses body movements and different postures depending on the topic, such as jumping to show a jovial movement and clapping to prove that the point given was correct. People believe over time writing equally contains nonverbal communication, as the words speak more than the writer. They have held the claim that the handwriting can give clues about how the writer was feeling when writing a note, book, or a piece of paper. The words used can express anger, pain, or various moods that people undergo, which is a clear communication about the speaker. Nowadays, people choose what font and color to use, which in a way says something about you, which can be considered a nonverbal communication. People have generally accepted that such forms of nonverbal communication are pretty unreliable and cannot be used as a metric to indicate people's character. They portray minimal information and non-verbal communication, which is included in the face-to-face interactions among people. The significance of nonverbal communication and embracing interactions among people through numerous nonverbal communication platforms in the body is a necessary evil. Nonverbal communication serves as a peculiar interest in our speech, which should be considered as an added advantage to learn more about people and solve possible causes of chaos and pain go the people around us. The significance of nonverbal communication and embracing interaction among people through numerous nonverbal communication platforms in the body.